Welcome to Santos Brothers Eats.
Food worth mentioning.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, so welcome back to Santos Brothers Eats, and we're back with my brother, Chef Jeff Santos, and of course, I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and we're going to be talking about some more food worth mentioning. And we went to an outdoor patio pop-up thing downtown.
That's right.
Yeah,
it was called the Kiss Me Pop-Up.
Okay.
I had the website on me here. The Kiss Me Outdoor Patio. And it was actually thought of, I did some research, Ken, before the podcast. So for those of you who are not in Toronto, we have a thing in Toronto every summer called the CNE, meaning the Canadian National Exhibition. And it's like most state fairs or provincial fairs, like there's a PNE, Pacific National Exhibition. I'm pretty sure there's one in the Central Canada. I'm pretty sure there's Eastern Canada. And I know most of the states have their own like large festivals. But this is called the CNE, Canadian National Exhibition. And they're the last 3 weeks of summer. So when the CNE opens, the summer's almost over. But of course, the entire world was affected by the pandemic. And the CNE, like most other fairs, I believe, decided not to open for the first time in many, many years, almost decades. And
I would imagine it's the first time since it opened, I would imagine.
There was one other time when they first announced it, there was another time they didn't open. Oh, I think for the World War. That's a good reason. Yeah, that would do it. Of course, there's a war.
There's people dying and there's a war. You don't really want to have an exhibition fair.
Yeah, that's right. So that was the only other time. And like at the CNE and most other fairs, I'm actually have Noah Cape's Carnival of Foods on right now in background. And most fairs and exhibitions, they have food stands, food buildings. Actually, are there food buildings in other state fairs? Yes, there is, because Diana and I went to New York State Fair and there was a food building. But most attractions are the small little stalls that encompass the fairgrounds, and they each have their own unique food contribution, and it's known as the annual CNE Fun Food, or What's There to Eat. And the press gets a hold of it, and then they do little sneak previews and they show the food. 1 year when bacon was all the rage, they had all this bacon stuff. I remember that we had a spam burger, which was this spam fry with pineapple and bun. We had that. And Ken and I did our own cronut burger, grilled cheeseburger, which were most of our burgers and other things were inspired by the CNE food. What other foods do you remember, Ken, from the CNE that we've had?
Oh, well, I'll just say this. We've had the deep fried butter. And,
yes.
And there's actually a video on our YouTube channel. It's called Epic Food Day. And I think it's Epic Food Day 2011. So that was 9 years ago.
Right.
And some deep fried brother. Actually, we got this whole package that was like $30. There's a deep fried brother, a deep fried Mars bar, deep fried Twinkie. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun. And that's not the only thing we had that day, but that was certainly how we ended the day.
Yes, exactly right. And of course, the cost of the foods range from maybe like $5 for a single portion, all the way up to almost $30 for a whole combination. Like Ken said, we had the $30 package would include like various amounts of deep fried goodness. So when the CNE decided to close down, of course, all the aspects were, well, what will we eat this summer? And various restaurants stated that they'll open up some sort of fun food. But like I said, I did some research, and the Barrio Mercato, they actually opened, I think it was the first one. And from what I've seen in the pictures, they actually had the same signs that we saw on the weekend, Ken.
Really?
They had, they had the dill pickle ice cream, which unfortunately wasn't available when Ken and I were there. They had street corn, and it says a licensed market with senior-like foods opening in Toronto. And this is way back in May 19th of this year.
I remember that.
Yeah.
They're east, right? Aren't they like Queen or something? Like Beaches?
It's Queen Street West.
Oh, there's Queen West. I guess they're not Mikado. Okay.
Hold on, look at the address. It's Queen Street. I forget what it was, east or west. But anyway, yeah. So I'm not too sure. Kiss Me is the media or the marketing group that went to various restaurants, say who would be interested in doing this. We'll take care of all your marketing. And I guess Barrio El Mercado, took up on their offer. And it was an outdoor patio because, again, we're still in the pandemic, so there was no indoor dining at the time. So again, they had an outdoor patio. All the food stalls were outside. They had food, drinks, various other beverage stations, and of course, ice cream and desserts. So that's what they had offering. But fast forward to this month, last weekend, and I forget, it was a bar that I guess closed down. It was known for the football. I think it was called the Rugby Bar, right at Richmond and Bathurst. And so they took this space over as a pop-up, and they brought over their Kiss Me pop-up. And again, it's the same offerings, maybe a bit more. They have they had like a street corn, they had ribs, they had various amounts of poutine, and all sorts of stuff. And again, it was all outdoors. You actually had to register your name just to make sure for registering. So if something did happen, if someone was affected, and so they could inform people that, by the way, you were here at this time, you may have been in contact with this person, so please get tested. But everything was clean out. Everything was outdoors. They had stations. They had sanitizer. So yeah, it was very well organized. And of course, we're here to talk about the food.
Yeah. I do want to say this. It was well organized. When we went, it wasn't all that crowded, so I wouldn't feel like we were too close to people, because of course when you're eating, you can't wear your mask.
That's right.
So it wasn't too crowded, a lot of space there. And then I just want to comment on that Spam burger that you mentioned earlier. You had that with Diana at a state fair? Is that where you had that?
No, actually, that was a CNE. So I guess you weren't there that
I must
that
have
year.
not been there.
Or maybe you were with us, but you had to leave early.
Perhaps.
But yeah, I remember that Spam burger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was there a burger with Spam, or
no
Spam instead of the burger?
The Spam was the burger.
Okay.
So, and it was like a good thick piece of Spam as well.
The grilled or fried?
Grilled.
Grilled. I'm not sure if you know this, Jeff, but I went to Hawaii in, I don't know, 2005 maybe.
Okay.
And they have, McDonald's has because as you know,
yes,
Spam is a big deal out in Hawaii.
That is right.
And McDonald's actually has like a Spam product. So I don't know if it's called McSpam or whatever it was called. I did try. I
wouldn't be surprised if it was called that.
Yeah. So Spam, and then just being our background, Filipinos like fried Spam. They just like that, especially in the morning with breakfast, on top of some fried eggs and some fried rice. But off of the burger, back onto the meals and the food that we had this past weekend.
Yeah. So again, they're offering us for the food. They had turkey legs, like barbecue turkey legs, which you only find usually at Disney or at the bigger, and maybe some fairs, like bigger amusement parks. Look on their website, they had pork ribs and chicken wings, duck wings as well. And they also catered a lot of vegan appetites, or vegetarian. They had vegetarian donuts. They had a lot of salads.
Hey, Korean fried cauliflower.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And then something that you had that we shared was the onion ring poutine.
Yeah.
Then mac and cheese.
So I don't know how vegan it was because it's
true.
Yeah.
Roasted corn, deep fried vegetables, pierogies. So yeah, they had a nice assortment of foods to share, which we did. And what do you think of the overall choices, Kat?
Initial offerings I did like. I was looking for one thing in particular that was kind of on the website, but I didn't see there. And I really wanted to try, of all things, there was like a pickled margarita.
Okay.
To try. I mean, it's kind of weird, but margarita is already salty, and I thought, pickle. And I wonder what that would taste like. Didn't get a chance because just wasn't available.
Yeah.
Now, was that the last weekend?
No, actually, I'm on their Instagram. They actually extended it until the September 7th. So before the Labor Day weekend is our last weekend.
Gotcha. I was wondering because I thought that was supposed to be the last weekend. I was like,
it was.
Okay, so it was. Maybe I was like, well, maybe it's just they ran out or something. They didn't want to make up a new batch or whatever because it's the last day. But I was a little disappointed that they didn't have that pickle margarita because I did want to try it at least.
It's okay. But what's funny is that we actually did see that hot banana pepper lemonade.
That's true.
Until the very last minute, and we already had drinks. So, and actually, to be honest, I wouldn't have mind trying a sip of that. You know, even though I'm not a big spicy fan person, but I wouldn't mind trying just a bit of that.
Oh yeah, I would have totally tried that. I would have totally got that if I had noticed it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, was it available though? Because just because there's a picture doesn't mean it's there.
Well, the sign was there, so
yeah, but
maybe you're right.
But the offerings are on the whiteboards.
Right. Maybe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw the picture for it, and so maybe it was available, but I didn't notice it there. Otherwise, I would have probably would have grabbed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the only bad thing is to me, like they had big signs, but the actual cooking stations were behind. So if you go to anywhere nowadays, it's like a clear plexiglass, and so you can sort of see what's happening. But at this for this event, they use like a rippled plexiglass, which you might see in like gardens or whatnot. So you really couldn't see people behind or just the shadows. I don't know why they chose that, maybe for the sun, but it's sort of, are they hiding something behind there? Like most open kitchens are, maybe not the most sanitary. Being a chef, I know that. We try to do our best. But, you know, if they had a clear plexiglass, you could see people and see what else is behind there. So I just found that a bit odd. But they have the reasoning.
It might have been for the sun, because on hot days, it would be torturous to be cooking out there.
Yeah.
It may have been.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
I didn't quite notice that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I noticed just because you said it, but I didn't think of anything of it. So.
Okay. Yeah. For me, to be honest, the offerings, I wish, like when I was just reading the menu now, they had some stuff that wasn't there that I wish was there. Like they had pork ribs, but they also had pork belly. And I remember from the menu I was reading, that wasn't on the whiteboard. They also had, where it was looking here. Chicken and waffles. Yeah. I'm almost sure I didn't see chicken and waffles there.
That wasn't there either. I would have I would have gotten that. And so I ended up getting the onion ring poutine. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of onion rings. Actually, Jeff, you may not know that. Did you know that or no?
I think I knew that because I remember one time when we go to A&W or Burger King or something like that, you'll ask for onion rings. And actually, I'm the same way. Like, I think Harvey's does frings, so a combination of onion rings and fries. So if we go to Harvey's, myself and Diana, we'll get the frings because I prefer onion rings over fries, and she doesn't like onion rings.
Yeah,
so it's a good thing for
right?
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't really eat onions, so I ended up getting the onion ring poutine, and I'll say that I was looking forward to it because I love onion rings. I really do. I'll even have onion rings at Pizza. Like I really like onion rings. Okay.
Okay.
And as you know, it's Pizza. Like why would I have onion rings there? Right? It's why do they even have a deep fryer there? I don't know. But getting off topic, so the onion rings. The actual rings were okay. The gravy was really good.
Yes.
They were lacking a little bit. Actually, I shouldn't say a little bit. I'm being nice if I say a little bit. They're lacking a lot in the cheese department.
Yes.
And like even Diana said that. She says like they were kind of skimpy on your cheese too. Like she said. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And while the gravy tasted good, it just wasn't hot enough. And even the onion rings, even though they were crisp, and they were not greasy, they weren't very warm.
No.
Actually, that's the first thing that you remarked when you tasted them and said it could be hotter.
Yeah.
And so, you know how what we're used to when you get that poutine and you take that fork in and you bring it out and there's always a couple strings of cheese that's kind of stretching between. That did not come this way. No. And I will also say that the portion was disappointingly small.
It was, yeah.
And this was $15. This was not this was not a cheap meal or
no, not at all.
And it wasn't even a meal. Like I was still hungry after.
Yeah, exactly right.
So I was kind of disappointed. A lot of the price points just kind of like across the board there were a lot higher than I would have expected.
Oh, Exactly right.
Jeff mentioned a turkey leg earlier, and I remember asking Jeff when he went to Disney how much was a turkey leg, and you said it was how much, Jeff?
If I'm correct, maybe in the $12 to $50 U.S. American dollar.
Yeah.
So, but but again, it's just the experience of being there. But here was $30.
$30 for a chicken leg, and then
turkey leg.
Sorry, for a turkey leg, and then I don't know if you saw this, Jeff, but those legs were smoked off site.
Yes.
Right, they were just heating them on the grill.
Exactly right.
So, I don't know.
Actually, to be honest, most of the rib fairs that you go to, the ribs are 100%. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Maybe 89% of the times, the ribs are already part cooked and frozen from almost the same vendor or vendors.
Oh, that's interesting.
And because you got to think that it's just the sauce that those rib guys are promoting.
Mm-hmm.
So when they get the ribs, they're already parked and smoked a bit, and they'll put them in their own. It's called an alto sham, or it's a combination cooker where it steams and also cooks at the same time. In there, they may add their own smoke to it or smoke flavoring to give their own taste. And then from there, once it's heated enough, then they put it in the grill, and then they add their barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
so,
I see. Well, I just remember I saw them opening up those turkey legs like out of the plastic.
Yep.
And
exactly
putting
right.
them on the grill. I was like,
yeah,
man.
No, yeah. I saw some do the same thing with the ribs. And I was like, of course.
So I was disappointed. I mean, and I was really looking forward to that day. Like when I saw the website, I was like, okay, all these different. And when I got there, it's like, well, at least get the onion ring poutine. And when I got that, it was just so small and it wasn't hot.
Yeah, that's right.
And it could have been good, like because the onion rings were actually good.
They were. They were like the large kind, like the what do they call the smokehouse, or there's a term for that. I forget what it's called. But the thick onion rings, not the thin ones you get at Burger King or Harvey's.
Yeah, they were large. I think part of that reason that they were large was that it made the portion size even smaller. Because if you compared, like Diana, she got some poutine, and those fries were packed in there.
Oh yeah,
different, right? But the onion rings, just because of the nature of a ring, it's difficult to pack. There's a lot more air. But I will say the gravy was very good. It just wasn't hot enough.
It was.
But all in all, disappointing. Like for the price and everything, I was disappointed with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it, like Ken said, it wasn't that busy, and I guess they parked a lot of stuff, which is ideal in a restaurant when you're getting busier. Yeah, get some stuff going. But if there's no one in line, then they should really take the time and just fry it to order. That way it's hot. Like I said, when we ordered poutine in Quebec City, the fryers were part cooked, yes, but they were finished off in the deep fat fryers. So we did have some hot fries. So I remember you ordered your poutine. I was waiting for mine, and I looked over at you, and you had your order already. I went, oh, that was fast, and it's almost too fast. So your onions are cold, block of cheese, but I must say that your gravy was the best gravy out of all three. For me,
good gravy. And as a matter of fact, like when I was done, there's plenty of gravy that was in the bottom of the of my container, and then you took your fries. And I said, just dump your fries in here. Yeah,
exactly right. And that's what I did.
Yeah. So what did you have, Jeff?
So I had on the picture. It said Bison bites, and the picture showed like meatballs of bison. But then on the whiteboard, the actual item on sale was bison sliders. So I said, okay, I'm going to order bison sliders. Again, there was no real description of what it really was, but just a bison slider. So there wasn't say what's on it. So I had to wait until I was served. And again, this was $15 again. So what I found disappointing is it was only half a patty, and they cut it in half. So it was 2 quarter patties, and they actually served it in the hamburger bun that was cut into quarters. So you sort of knew you were getting only half a bun or half a burger. I would have preferred if they would have bought maybe smaller buns and sort of hide the fact that you are, and just call it burger sliders. Yeah, they were called burger sliders, but a real slider is a small bun.
Yeah, they could have easily used like, even something like a smaller bun, like those Hawaiian rolls or something,
Yeah.
Like, something like that. Or
Exactly right. So they had that on the bun, but they actually dressed it up nice. It came with Japanese mayo, which is a bit, or Kewpie mayonnaise, which is a bit sweeter mayonnaise, and kimchi. And I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of kimchi, but I actually ate mine. It was a good compliment to the Bison burger. But I sort of found it weird because when you think Bison burger or Bison in general, you would think more indigenous food or more American food. But they made it into an Asian twist, which was good. What do you think of it, Ken?
As far as the actual food in the meal, I think yours was the best tasting.
Mm-hmm.
So I did like it. And I didn't realize yours was 15 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And man, that's again, disappointingly small. And I just want to give a comparison. We did an episode with the food dudes.
Yes.
Food dudes. I remember I got the burger I got from them was either $9 or $10. That primary burger.
Oh,
and this was hands fist, much larger, much tastier, and much less in price.
Yeah, it was a full burger.
Yeah, it was a full, and all the dressing was delicious. It was really, really good. This tasted good, but it was small.
It was.
Basically, it was half a burger. It was served on half a bun that was cut in half.
That's right.
Two sliders, and then the patty was cut in half.
Right.
So it was basically half a burger for the $15.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a different meat. It is bison, but
it is bison.
Came with some fries.
Came with some fries, but they were cold. So again, they're just under the heat lamp, and they just serve it right away.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. But yeah, I didn't know yours was 15. I thought yours was 10. So when I just heard they were 15, I went, wow, I paid 15 for mine. And yeah, it's like.
Yeah, and I think Diana's she got some poutine as well. She paid 15 as well.
Yeah. So what Diana got was called International Street Poutine. And here's what it had. It was fries with the gravy. I'm pretty sure the same gravy that Ken had. But they also added in some sort of barbecue sauce, which I found a bit on the spicy side, so I don't have that much. Then it had some chicken. And a lot of chicken, actually.
There was a lot of chicken. There was a lot of meat.
Yeah. A lot of meat. And then she's supposed to get guacamole and salsa. So to be honest, I'm not too sure how the international came in there, but that's what they called it. But I noticed that she didn't get either guacamole or salsa on her order. And she goes, oh, you're right. So then she came back with guacamole, but she didn't get any salsa because the salsa was more of a chunky salsa, and she's not a big tomato fan, like a raw tomato fan. So she passed on that.
Her. Yeah, that wouldn't work for her. So I'm glad she passed. Yeah.
But yeah, so I believe Diana paid 15, but she got the most for her money. Like this was a heavy poutine.
It was, but it was a small container. I mean,
it was true.
I just let's give that comparison back to the food dude's truck. When we got that, was it the truffle aioli fries?
Oh yes.
All right. That container was full? Minimum twice as big.
Oh yeah,
minimum twice as big, and hot. And as we all know, the truffle oil is not cheap. No. But even though it was bigger and in my opinion tasted better, it was $10 versus 15. So just a drastic. That's a night and day difference.
Yeah.
And she got the most food, and it was heavy when you picked it up, but it was still small.
Right. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now again, so they were located right almost downtown Toronto, like I said, Richmond and Bathurst and Richmond. So it is sort of downtown. Food Dudes is more east of Toronto, so maybe the rent is a bit cheaper. But who knows? So maybe that's why the price was more expensive at the pop-up. But I think a bit more care, like fresh onion rings, fresh fries when it's not so busy. Like I said, your gravy was hot, which I appreciated a bit more. But a $30 turkey leg. Other than the chicken and waffles, I think I was looking forward to the turkey leg again. But for $30, I didn't want to spend that much money on a turkey leg. Where I could buy maybe 2 or 3 turkey legs raw and do it myself. But just have the experience of being outside again on a patio. Oh, and I must say that this was our first patio luncheon ever since the pandemic started. Like we done a lot of takeout, but this is our actually first sit down outside in a patio for myself and Diana, and for you too, Ken.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I haven't eaten on an actual like restaurant patio since pre-pandemic. So yeah.
Exactly
I almost went with Dylan. We ended up having Greek food, but I almost went because I was thinking of doing that, but it was just so hot that day that I didn't even mention it to him.
That's right.
I was like, it's not worth. It was like that was one of those heat warning days. So it was too hot.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. So that's what we had, and so I think an overall rating for everything was about 6.
I'd say 6. We also had dessert.
Yeah. So I was in the food rating for that. So 6.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. I thought you meant the actual whole experience. So the food rating, it was a 6.
It was a 6.
And I just got to say, I was so looking forward. Like when we were saying, we're going to go. And I was like, this is exciting. I was so excited to go. And I ended up being disappointed. And I will say this is that for some reason, my high vibes kept me positive because I didn't feel disappointed until I got home. I was like, you know what? I was like, at least it waited till I got home instead of being like, disappointed while I'm there, but
that's right.
Yeah.
That's it. But yes, Ken mentioned we had desserts. So on their offerings, they did have buttery beer ice cream or soft serve. I guess they couldn't call it butterbeer for legality reasons. And for those, copyright. Yeah, and for those who don't know what butterbeer is, it's a part of the Harry Potter lore. And I remember I had quote unquote real butterbeer drink and ice cream when Diana and I went to Universal Studios in Florida. And I must say that, of course, the butterbeer in Florida was 100 times better than the soft serve here. It just lacked flavor overall. And they served it nice. So they put it into a cup. And in the bottom cup, the gentleman put dry ice in it. And then
it was double cupped. I just want to.
It was double cupped. Yeah. And the lid of the cup has holes in it, so the dry ice effect can come seep through. But so when he was, so it was myself and Ken, the cash counter, where the server stood, and another counter, and he was doing everything in the back counter. So we saw the dry ice go in, we saw him cover it, the smoke was coming out, but then he had to go get something else, and then it took a while. So by the time he came back, gave it to us, the smoke effect sort of disappeared. Like unless you took the lid up again and some smoke came up, but that effect wasn't there. So I had the buttery beer soft serve. Ken wanted to get the dill pickle ice cream, but unfortunately, Ken, what happened?
It wasn't available.
Yes,
actually, he wasn't even sure about it. He's like, "What?"
Correct.
He wasn't even sure that they offered it. So and so I ended up getting avocado ice cream.
Yes. So, actually, coconut avocado ice cream.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, okay, coconut avocado. It's supposed to be served in a coconut shell. I never got it.
It was, and he didn't get that option. I didn't want to say anything either.
Yeah, and then there was a kind of a nice effect where they actually offered like this little chocolate ball to kind of like, think of like a small ball, kind of like a truffle, like, a lint truffle, those lint round truffle, like that. And they would have put that in there. That against the ice cream would have made it look like an avocado because it would have looked like the avocado pit.
Yeah, exactly right.
They didn't have any of those either.
But unfortunately,
yeah.
Someone must have eaten the chocolate.
Yes, someone must have had that. $10 each.
And
a little disappointing.
I'd say they may have been like maybe a 3-ounce portion. So if you want to take a scale and weigh out 3 ounces, and they were smallish.
Yeah, just think of 3 shot glasses. Just think of 3 shot glasses. And,
that's it.
And I don't know if it was the machine, Jeff, because it was a hot day, but that ice cream melted very quickly.
It did.
So it just wasn't cold. I mean, it was cold because it was ice cream, but it wasn't cold enough.
No.
It certainly wasn't as cold as like what do you call it? Like an ice cream truck.
No, exactly right. Yeah, true.
It started dripping very fast.
Very soon.
Fast. Yeah, fast. Like, but by the time we got to the table, it was already dripping all over the place.
Yeah.
Again, another disappointing factor. Which
but I must say, like, I yours tasted better than mine. Like I said, mine was very bland compared to the actual butterbeer. I can find it in Bristol.
I actually liked yours more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Jeff's better, but I was hoping to get the
Okay.
pickle, and actually I was just thinking about it as the night went on. I was like after the pickle, like I should not have gotten anything. I was just like, maybe I shouldn't have just even had it there. It was almost like a waste to me.
Okay.
And I will say this: I do like avocado in desserts. I really like. You just sometimes get them at bubble tea shops or
Oh.
places like Fresh Squeeze, where they offer like avocado shakes. Actually, a lot of pho places offer shakes as well.
Yes.
And they have an avocado shake. I'd rather have an avocado shake from there than
Okay.
the ice cream soft serve that we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, I think like Diana told you that we actually had avocado ice cream in the Philippines, and not soft serve, but like scoop ice cream.
like hard ice cream. That's nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that there has to be somewhere in Toronto that has that. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it anywhere myself.
It actually might be in the grocery store. Like,
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big fad again. Avocado.
Yeah. There.
Yeah. But I see for yours, because I tasted more coconut than avocado. What did you taste more of? I know you said mine was better.
I did taste coconut, but I thought it was the sprinkles on top. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay. Oh, I missed the sprinkles. So maybe you're right.
Maybe that was the coconut part.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because I was like, I remember eating. I was like, oh yeah, it tastes a little coconutty. And then I saw these little sprinkles, like shredded coconut, like toasted, shredded coconut.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably where it was from. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean that ice cream experience is like a below a 5 for me. That was.
Yeah. So food was 6, ice cream was 5. Yeah, that's a good. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But atmosphere and overall, I think presentation of the establishment, I think an 8.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was well organized. Otherwise.
Yeah.
It was well organized, and I think it was our timing as well. It just wasn't crowded. I wonder if it was crowded later on.
Yeah.
How late did that go until?
If I'm correct, I think they go until maybe midnight or at least until 10.
Right.
I'm on their website now. I don't see the timing right away.
I don't see the time, but let's think about this. Like if it went until the evening time when it just gets a lot cooler, I think it'd be like a pretty interesting atmosphere. I'd be personally adverse to going just because I would be apprehensive about how many people would show up.
Right. Right now it says from Monday to Friday, 4 to late. That's all it says. So I guess they gauge. Mm-hmm. They'll make their own decisions based on who's on attendance. And Saturday to Sunday, noon till late.
Gotcha.
And that's all it says there.
Okay.
So, it's called the Old Football Factory. So the bar that was there was called the Old Football Factory. And when they say football, they mean soccer in North America or official football in Europe.
Yeah, I guess everywhere else, right?
Yes. Yeah, true. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
Yeah, the Old Football Factory. So while I was looking forward to it, I ended up being disappointed, unfortunately. Yeah. And so I don't know what else to say, really.
No, it's it wasn't a good substitute for the CNE, unfortunately. I think Diane and I were also looking forward to that as well. And
yeah, it sounded like I remember I got the text and said, "Oh, let's meet you down there." I was like, "Oh yeah,
that's right.
Let's do that." And between like if you don't have the quantity, you usually have the quality,
right?
And I just felt like it was lacking in both departments. So while we were disappointed, it was still food worth mentioning because they did have some marketing. And if you do end up trying it, they're on for a couple more weekends, at least until the first weekend or second weekend of September until Labor Day weekend.
That's right.
I would go ahead.
So again, they're called the Kiss Me Pop-Up. They're on Instagram. It's, I believe, Kiss Me YYZ. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, Kiss Me Pop-Up. So KISSME Pop-Up. So that's where they are on Instagram, and
we'll leave a link to their page or to their Instagram in the show notes for that, and along with all the pictures, because you know what, as far as like my onion rings, they did look good in the picture, and so did the buffalo, not the bison sliders, and actually Diana's. It did look good, and then you also see our melted ice cream that's not even 3 minutes old. That's, so you'll see that as well. But that's this week's food worth mentioning, and we do plan on trying out another food festival type this weekend, right, Jeff? So
yes, we are.
We'll be talking. Well, hopefully, we'll be talking about that next week, unless something strange happens. But yeah.
And then until next time, remember this quote from Julia Child: "People who love to eat are always the best people."
And that, of course, includes my brother, Chef Jeff, and I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and you as well. If you love to eat, food worth mentioning. All right, take care, everyone.
All right, have a good day.
You've been listening to Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.